Hello there, welcome to Theobodium, and welcome back to Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies. As always, a mouthful. Today, I have planned to get a lot done. I'm meshing together multiple video ideas just to go ahead and get this descriptive stuff out of the way. So if you enjoyed my last video that was my first impressions on Call of Duty Cold War, then you should also enjoy this video. I'm going to be breaking down more in-depth stuff, and I'm going to be doing it with gameplay of me like actually playing the game in the background, because it will probably be easier for me to give examples of the stuff I'm talking about than for me to try and piece it together in editing later, because that really didn't work out the way I intended with the last video. So with all that being said, let me fix my lighting really quick. That didn't help at all. There we go. Lighting is fixed, and I'm about to be hit by a zombie because I didn't pause the game for some reason. Anyways, sorry, that took me a second, but oh yeah, that looks a lot better. Sorry, that initial intro was probably not well lit, or at least unevenly lit. The whole purpose of this video is I'm going to go through like a list here and talk about stuff about the game, and I'm going to split this up into still 2 episodes, but I'm going to be recording them back to back. So the idea for a video that I had here was I'm going to like show myself progressing towards getting gold on a gun. I'm hoping I'll finish gold for this gun on this day while recording, and then move on to begin doing another gun and just continue to talk. I might be done with this script, I guess, that I have here. It's not really a script, it's just a guide of like, oh, I want to talk about this stuff. I need to start getting 20 kills in a row without taking a hit. That's one of the challenges. That one is not what I'm worried about. The one that's going to take the longest no matter what I do is the pack-a-punch kills. Okay. And critical kills as well. I already have enough normal kills. Still haven't taken a hit, surprisingly. So it seems like I need to aim a little bit above the head. Yeah, okay, there we go. Odd how that is, but yeah, that's getting it done. So the first thing I want to talk about is the loadout system. This is editing me from the future. I'm probably going to reappear multiple times throughout this video. I had no clue what I was saying here. It was the first official point that I tried to make, and I was horrible at it. So I'm just going to re-record over this. I've always enjoyed the progression that comes with starting with a weak weapon. Most commonly in the past, a very weak pistol that you would start every single match with, and then you'd have to buy new guns to get past it, but it would be enough just to get you through the first few rounds. Although, of course, there was a problem of variety. There was no variety in that, starting every single match with the same exact weapon. So Black Ops 4 tried to eliminate that by allowing you to start with different weapons, but a lot of times those weapons just seemed too powerful to start with. It kind of messed up the progression of things. In this game, they found a very good balance in combination with the rarity slash tier damage of the weapons, whatever you want to call it. With that, you can start each match with any gun that you want, but still be incentivized to go through progression because your weapon is at the lowest damage tier. The next thing that I had listed to talk about was player progression involving the player, weapons, and customization, I think. Yeah, so like skins and stuff like that. I do genuinely want to talk about that for a second because I genuinely think it's... hello? Sorry, I need to get myself under control for a second. Okay, so I don't think that the level up system that they've done is like very different than any other game, but when it comes to the weapon level up system involving like camos and stuff like that, I think that that's great. The way that they've done that, how you have to level up your gun to unlock more camo challenges as opposed to wait until when the others are finished. I don't know, I prefer that much over having to get 2,000 something headshots before you can even begin to like put a dent in your other camo challenges. Why did I not grab those double points? And then to further on the conversation about progression, the stuff with the Ethereum crystals, that stuff is also like definitely interesting. The ability to increase like, I guess, the power of like certain weapons and stuff like that. I don't know, I'm personally a fan of that. Again, with a lot of these things that I talk about, it's a matter of opinion, whether or not you like some of this stuff, but I personally like the Ethereum progression a lot. I did not realize that I was talking into the game. Ooh, I hope that's not being picked up in the game audio. 1 second. Quick fix to that. I'm just gonna go forward and hope that that didn't get picked up in the game audio. I forgot that I need to actually activate Pack-a-Punch. We'll see if I even have time to do it now. Whew. I wasn't sure how long I had left until that teleportation thing went away. Yeah, the Ethereum crystal progression I think adds a very interesting element into the game where it's not like overpowered progression, which I appreciate. It feels like it's actually balanced. It just feels like just because I'm using the Ethereum crystal upgrades, I'm not like a god. But at the same time, like, it does help. Also, because it's not useless. And I feel like that goes for a lot of things in this game, where it's not useless, but it helps. I don't know why I still reload before max ammos. And this game definitely focuses on a point of not making you overpowered, and again, I I appreciate that so much, because that was such a problem. The next thing also involves it being, like, balanced, not too, like, easy and with overpowered stuff, is Gobblegum and Elixir. There's no more dependence on them, because they're just straight up gone. You have things like, Aether Shroud, which is, like, in plain sight, but it's only half as good, and it's your super, so you can't use it as much as you could use in plain sight. But, like, stuff like that is still good, and it's in the game, but it's much more infrequent to use. It doesn't help as much. It's much more balanced, as opposed to Gobblegum, which was always in your back pocket and was always, like, ridiculously helpful. They've made it to where the stuff is, I mean, still definitely helpful, but it's just not as overpowered. Again, onto the point system, which I actually have the first one I might use anything as an example for, because of course the points that I'm getting right now are popping up on the screen. Again, I stumbled over my words too much in this part, so here Editor Me is again. In comparison to the Black Ops 4 point system, I am a huge fan of the point system of this game, because the Black Ops 4 point system was, I guess I would say it's more similar to the original, but it was complicated. I still don't fully understand the Black Ops 4 point system. I also didn't really put time into trying to understand it, but if I'm not mistaken, the point system seemed very damage-based. When attacking a zombie, you would get points based off of how much damage you did to them, and then an additional amount of points for the kill, as opposed to the more simplified Cold War point system, where it's 90 for a body shot kill, 115 for a headshot or melee kill, 50 if you get a turned zombie kill, or brain rot I should say, 90 also for explosive kills, 90 plus 10 additional, so 100 if you get a kill on a zombie that is affected by an alternate ammo type, from my experience that I've seen, or at least cryo freeze. You get 90 for killing a plague hound, you get 100 points for splitting the megaton, and then the rest is normal as applies to other zombies when you kill both of the split versions. Oh, and you also get an additional 10 points if you get a long shot kill, which I discovered in this match. So if you get a headshot long shot kill, then you get 125 points. If it's a body shot long shot kill, then you'll get 100 points. Oh, I downed myself with my C4. Interesting, that's really gonna put a wrench in this match. Now that I've laid out that entire point system, it actually is pretty complicated to say all of that with the specific differences, but the base of the point system is you get 90 for a body shot kill, 115 for a headshot or melee kill, and that base stuff is much more simplistic than the Black Ops 4 point system. I still prefer the original point system because nothing beats those classic moments of having a very rapid-fire SMG, firing it into a horde's chest just to rack up those 10-point hits, and seeing the left side of your screen fill with plus 10. But I also feel that there's not a problem with the current point system, because there's also something satisfying about seeing the points rack up on the right side of your screen. It's much more in your face. I'm not sure if I like that personally, but I don't think that overall the point system is a problem. It is simplified again, much more so than Black Ops 4 was. I much prefer this point system over Black Ops 4's, and I'm on the fence about whether or not it's the same or worse than the old, but as far as functionally speaking, I think that it's equivalent. Something that I forgot to talk about in either videos that I recorded originally is my one serious and genuine complaint with Cold War Zombies so far, which is the characters that we play as. I know that the story doesn't necessarily need to be so complicated. I'm happy about that because although I was a huge part of the Aether story for a long time, it being so complicated was a problem, I think, and it made the story hard to get into for a lot of new players. And so having a more simplistic story is good. I'm not as invested in the story this time around, but again, I don't have as much of a problem with that because the gameplay is way overcompensating for that fact. However, one thing that I do sorely miss in the game that I believe this game is missing is the personality of the characters that we're playing as. Because the characters that we're playing as don't seem to have much personality. Characters in this game just don't seem to be built up with any sort of character. They're just multiplayer operators. And I get that that's kind of the point, but I miss being able to laugh at and enjoy the lines that would come out of my character's mouth that I was playing as that would be absolutely ridiculous sometimes. And I'm not saying that it needs to be ridiculous. It doesn't have to be that way. But I just want to feel that our characters have some personality. Because even when there were annoying characters that I was playing as, I still preferred to be able to make fun of an annoying character than just have a character that I barely even notice that I'm playing as because they rarely say anything, and when they do say something, it's usually like, I bagged a kill. It's fine, and I like the voice of the character that I'm currently playing as, but I just feel that there's a lack of personality, and it takes a little bit of personality out of the game. That is the only complaint I have, though, and in all seriousness, I'd much rather it be like this than have character personality and end up like BO4 was, because BO4 did have character personality, I'll give it that, but it had pretty much nothing else, so I'd say this is a pretty good trade-off that we've gotten. Alright, that is a crappy game. That is not at all what I intended to happen for this recording session. And immediately after that is the ammo system, which I'm going to give an example here whenever the game finally finishes loading. I also enjoy the ammo system personally, because now that guns are more balanced, you don't have like these mystery box guns that are much more powerful, but you can never buy ammo for, and you have to depend on max ammos. Or if you're talking Black Ops 3 and 4, then elixir drops of ammo as well, whether it be alchemical antithesis or a max ammo drop or something like that that you can force in. Traditionally speaking, like, you would just be waiting on max ammos for those guns, and I think that was an interesting challenge in its own. But now that they're going for more of a balanced perspective, I much prefer this situation where you would just have a unified ammo box, this guy right here, that can get ammo for any gun except for wonder weapons, I assume. Now that we have a more balanced weapon system and every single gun can like be just as powerful as another one, then yeah, I think it's a good idea to have this ammo system where you can buy ammo for any gun wherever you are. You don't have to be at a specific wall-buy spot, which I just think that that's a general improvement, because it used to be where I was like worried about where I was going to train based on where I could buy ammo for a gun, and now I can have like a more varied experience, as in like, well, I don't have to train in this spot with a specific gun so I can get ammo for it. I can train in this spot with whatever weapon I want to. So I don't think there's much to compare it to, because this is pretty much brand new. But this equipment system that they have now of like random drops and also craftable system, I like that a lot personally, which I will get more on the craftable part of it later. I'm just going to focus on equipment right now. I like this dependence almost on whatever the zombies drop you have to work with, except you don't have to, which involves the craftable system, but again, I'll get to that in a second. Because it just makes me feel like you have to be like better with the equipment. You just have to make do with what you get, and it used to be I was super good with frag grenades in Call of Duty games, like zombie games specifically, because that was always the one you'd start with. And then Black Ops 4 rolled around and you'd start getting things like Wraith Fires, which obviously made the game too easy, because they were more useful than the supers in this game. Like the super that I have equipped right now isn't even as useful as a Wraith Fire was. But again, I don't see that as a bad thing. I see it as a relief, almost, from the game being way too easy. Like, with what I do, as you can probably tell already, I try to go for the loadout of stun grenades and C4s. That's my personal favorite loadout. I know most people use stim shots, at least from the people I've played with, most people use stim shots, which makes sense, because it's like, just, of course, the general objective of the game is to stay alive longer. Stim shots help you stay alive longer. But I personally, like, see stun grenades as more useful, at least for my playstyle. I don't know about anyone else's playstyle, but for me, the stun grenades are just more useful. About the craftable stuff, I think it's very good that they've allowed a system where, like, you can, if you really, like, specifically need or want to use a very specific equipment, then you can craft it. Like, you just have to save up the materials that the zombies randomly drop, similar to the equipment. Alright, I don't know what I'm still doing up here. I've just been talking and not focusing on getting pack-a-punch kills like I need. So that's put a little bit of a dent in the number of pack-a-punch kills I'm going to get this round, but that's fine. So I'm going to come back to the equipment and craftables in a moment. First, I want to talk about this, the objective system, which I personally think is good. It doesn't continue throughout the entire thing, I don't think. Hello. Thinking this portal's going to save me, but, okay, anyways, now that I almost screwed this match up again and lost my self-revive, I didn't, but I almost did. Now that that's happened, I guess I'm going to upgrade this. Having this objective system, personally, I think it's a good thing overall. I don't like it, but I think it's a good thing. I've always played it without an objective system. I've liked, like, having the match not tell you where to go. Personally, I've enjoyed that. But I also recognize that in order to make the game, like, more accessible to people who just started playing, having an objective system worked. So I think that's all I had to say about the objective system. Now, time to go back to the craftable system, with, like, the salvage that I just picked up. And this heavy salvage also. I've really, like, you can build the equipment that you want and stuff like that, or you can choose to make do with the equipment that you get, and then you can do this, and buy yourself some armor, or upgrade your weapon, like I just did. I really appreciate that, because for a while I thought that you would have to get a gun that like had random attachments on it in order to upgrade the rarity of your gun, but it turns out you don't have to do that. I'm gonna get out of here. You can force your gun up damage tiers, and it's very difficult to do, but it's not insanely difficult. It just means you have to sacrifice on other things like being able to buy equipment or score streaks. I haven't messed with score streaks much at all, and you could do it slower than I'm forcing myself to like upgrade my weapons tier. You could like be more patient about it. I'm just doing this because like I'm always focusing on a single gun at a time.
Zombie threat neutralized.
Hello.
Throwing C4.
Time. Please don't die.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? I just about got myself killed. I don't have armor. I need to be careful about that. I can buy some soon, though. Ah. I figured if I got, like, multiple headshots on him in a row, then it'd be good, but, that was a risk that did not pay off. I need to revive myself. Frustrating. I just need to be really careful and not mess up the game like I did last time. I don't know, it's pretty much guaranteed at this point that I'm gonna have to play a lot more matches to get this gun done because I've like really not been doing good. I already talked about how the Ethereum crystals, like I like the balance of that, but I think it's just the only thing I have to add to that topic is upgradable perks. Specifically, I really enjoy them. The ability to make you feel like your perks can do more than what their base level is. I don't know. Pretty self-explanatory, and it comes in with like the thing I already said about the balance of the Ethereum crystals, but I figured I'd just add it in there just because I do think it deserves like that little bit of conversation. Oh yeah, no perk limit. That's the other thing I want to mention. I personally enjoy that as well a lot. My thoughts are scattered, so I'm just going to redo this, but yeah, having no perk limit I think is nice. Having the 6 perks on the map and then just being able to like get all of them, but it's also not OP because I think risk versus reward type thing is very expensive because the perks increase in price as you get them, because if you go down you lose 3 immediately, so even if your buddy gets you up immediately you lose a ridiculous amount of points. I'm just going to pause the game because I want to finish this thought. So I think that's like a nice risk versus reward type thing, and I think that's what a lot of the balance is in this game. During gameplay, a lot of it involves risk versus reward when it comes to the challenge and balance of this game. That's all I have to say about that. But the next thing, the reason why I paused, and the next thing I have to talk about is this right here, the separation of Pack-a-Punch versus different ammo types. I love that they've done that. I absolutely despised getting random ammo mods as opposed to like having control of it. And also, I didn't necessarily like in Black Ops 3 that it was the only thing that like double pack-a-punching would get you, and that I did not like in Black Ops 4 where double pack-a-punching, you had to double, triple, quadruple, and then quintuple pack-a-punch your gun to get it to its max damage. I didn't like that because it made the normal pack-a-punch just feel underpowered. It made it mainly just feel like, oh, these 5,000 points that I'm using on the box aren't gonna get me what they could. Like, it's just not... It's not worth it anymore. These initial 5,000 points are just going to make a gun that's not really that powerful. That's like really what it ended up getting me and a lot of other people, I think, to feel like. And not that it was the ability to make your gun more powerful, but rather your gun was just weaker and you had to spend more money to get it to where it already was. Whereas this new Pack-a-Punch system, it feels a lot more like you're actually investing in a much better product. Normal Pack-a-Punch still makes your gun very powerful, just like it used to do, and it's 5,000 points. But then if you want to take it a step above that, you have to spend 15,000 points. And we have to spend even more points on it, but I feel like it's actually worth my time to do it, because it feels like it's actually a way that it'll progress me and make my weapons more powerful. And then as far as the separation with like the ammo mods, I love that. Ammo mods aren't just a random thing that you have to spend money on like over and over again, get random ones. Now it's like, wow, you can choose what you get and it's 2,000 points. They're not ridiculously overpowered, but you only have to pay 2,000 points to get the one that you want. And that just feels like a fair trade-off. Like, you're not wasting your points trying to get a good one. You're just you get what you pay for, and you don't have to waste points over and over again on it. It's just simplified and refined system, I think, for these ammo mods, and I love it so much in comparison to the original. And now I actually feel like I like ammo mods, whereas before I was always on the fence about them. Now I feel like I like the addition of them into the game, and I really like how they turned that around. Oh yeah, and that right there, exfil, I'm not going to be talking about in this video, or in any video soon. I'm not going to really mention it in the next video either, because I don't know much about it. I haven't done it, and I plan on making an entire video about exfil on its own. It probably won't be a long one, because there's not insanely much to talk about, besides like base gameplay stuff that I'm talking about right now. But I will talk about exfil at some point, because I like it a lot, but I haven't done it yet. I've just been enjoying the game as it is. Alright, I feel like I'm gonna go far this time, but then again, if I slip up and make a mistake, I'm just gonna be gone, because I don't have whatever it's called, Sulfur 5. I could probably make one, actually. I don't need to forget about that, but I'll spend money on armor first. So anyways, back to what I was talking about, like with score streaks, I don't know much about them. I think they're pretty useful. They're just another... They are another save me thing, and so like using them, I don't know if it'll make the game too easy, because I haven't been using them, but I don't think it will. If this game's challenging enough, I feel like having another thing in your back pocket, just one more thing that I like haven't used, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think overall it'll probably make the experience even better. But again, that's just me theorizing at this point, because I haven't consistently used score streaks. I have used them, I have dabbled with them, of course, but I haven't consistently used them. And my final note for this video is the fact that you can pick up a gun out of the box and you won't lose your gun. It'll just drop on the floor and someone else can pick it up if they want to. If you had a really good gun and you don't want to like lose it, then you can just let someone else pick it up. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video because I need to get to recording the next video, and I'm just going to be continuing to play this match in that one. So if you want to see what happens in the end of this match, then go ahead and watch my next video if it's not out already. I mean, of course I'll still have to edit, but yeah, this is hectic. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one.